getting your money's worth, the show that focuses on value. My guest today is Ken English, Director of the Reading and Writing Centers at the New York Public Library. Did I get it right?
You did.
Okay, good. So tell me something. Your center is a special niche within the public library system, correct?
Absolutely.
All right. And what's your mission?
To help adults improve their reading and writing skills, English communication, basically to welcome them to everything that the library has to offer.
Right. That's a very broad scope.
It is.
How big is your staff?
We have about 35 people working in the Centers for Reading and Writing across 8 different locations.
Are those volunteers?
No, these are...
Okay. But your main heavy lifting is done by...
Volunteers, absolutely. We have
right.
over 120 volunteers that support our work.
Right. It's amazing. So what do you do with people put in applications to you and you interview them, you vet them, and you train them to do this work?
On the volunteer side,
yeah,
yes, absolutely. They need to go through about 20 hours of pre-service training where they're learning literacy techniques, understanding what the problems are with people why they didn't learn to read and write, and then they work directly in libraries with professional literacy people, so they're always supported.
Now, the folks that come to you to learn to read and write, is that fee-based?
No, all of our services are free.
Right, so that comes out of the New York City budget.
New York City budget, we also have state education funding and also support from philanthropists, people who
Right.
Yeah, private funding.
Tell me something. What's the demography of people that come to you that can't read and write?
Well, obviously, New York City is a city of immigrants, so many people are relocating from other countries just to capture the American dream, or also are refugees from wars and
so you have English as a second language also?
Yeah, I mean, more than 40% of New Yorkers speak a language other than English at home. So
you know, Ken, you use expression. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to finish.
Please, no.
You say you use expression, catch the American dream. We have a lot of Americans that would like to catch it right now.
Absolutely.
Native borns.
Well, probably about 40% of the people who come to our centers were born here, and for whatever reason didn't learn to read and write. New York City used to have a policy of social promotion in schools where you basically were placed in a grade depending on your age. So if you didn't learn to read and write in the first 3 grades, you basically got left behind. And so we have actually people who have high school diplomas who still can't read and write.
So do you have young people?
Yeah, we start with people 16 years of age and older who are out of school, but the majority are somewhere between 35 and 65, but we have adults even in their 80s who come to learn to read and write.
So it's amazing. Folks just get fed up with not being able to read and write. How do they get motivated?
A lot of them just, it's a common statement to say, I want to do it for myself now. So people who have raised their families, given all of their blood, sweat, and tears to support their children, then come back and say, you know what, I have some time to do it for myself and I really need to do it. Also on the younger side, younger people who are having children and realize, I need to help them with their homework, I want to be involved in their lives and be a part of a functioning citizen. And imagine just, I got off the train the other day in Flushing, Queens, and you get out of the train over there. I was going to the Queens Library, and everything is written in Chinese, and you can't read a lick unless you read Chinese. And you could really feel what that must be like.
I know, it's empathy. I'm thinking, I used to actually be a director of a program when there was a large wave of Eastern European emigration to the U.S. of a ESL program where the emigres or the immigrants were extraordinarily well educated in their own language, but were almost helpless when it came to dealing with teachers, getting a better job, buying groceries, very elementary tasks that they could not do because they couldn't speak the language. So that piece has stayed with me to empathize.
Very humbling,
It's very humbling.
You may have been a doctor in your own country and you come here and you're struggling, to get even the most basic form of employment.
But of course, equally humbling and sorrowful is folks who go through our own public school system that come to you and haven't mastered basic reading and writing skills.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them have undocumented, undiagnosed learning disabilities. I mean, people with dyslexia, and that doesn't mean you can't read and write at all, but it's estimated that about 10% of the population have some form of dyslexia, struggling with reading in one form or another.
Do folks get one-on-one? Walk me through what it looks like to get.
Typically, we do
trained.
small group instruction. You'd see about 4 or 5 adults at a table with a volunteer tutor. Sometimes you'd be even hard-pressed to decide who's the tutor in the group because students learn to help each other. And I think that's a really strong part of the program.
Yeah.
So we also have a big technology component to our program. All of our students are trained in using computers. They're doing anything from internet
So you go beyond.
search. Oh, well beyond. Yeah, we use both instructional software, educational software to help with the basics of reading and writing, but also word processing. We have programs where we do art and literacy. Students use digital cameras. I actually brought some examples.
Oh, wow.
I'd be happy
yeah,
to show you.
please. You know, it must be very gratifying.
It's very gratifying.
To do what you do. How did you get into? Is this a new program, part of the public library?
No, actually, this program is more than 25 years old.
It's called Reading and Writing
Centers for Reading and
It's not
Writing,
just
right.
broad adult literacy. You have a niche within the adult literacy department.
Well, no, we are the
You are?
the literacy program for the library, adult literacy. I also oversee a young adult literacy program in the Bronx and all of our ESOL programs as well. But the Centers for Reading and Writing really help adults who are at the most basic stages of learning to read and write. And that could be a little misleading by our name because Centers for Reading and Writing, sometimes we even have people calling us up quite frequently saying, could you help me with my term paper in college?
Right. Yeah.
But we're working with people who read and write below a 6th grade reading level.
You know, I have had so many people on that talk about whatever aging is today, but let's just say for a broad brush, retirees, people who are intelligent, who are talented, and don't have enough to do with themselves. I would think that volunteering in one of your groups would be a wonderful way for the aging, whatever we could call that, over 65 crowd to bring their job experience too.
Absolutely.
Do you do any career counseling?
Oh yeah, a big part of the rationale why people come to a Center for Reading and Writing a lot of times is triggered by something that happens on the job where, you know, they needed to read and write something and read instructions from the boss, and so that's often a trigger as to why they come to our programs.
I have read how that people get very clever and very nimble about hiding their lack of being able to read or write. They get, you know.
So I forgot my glasses is a common one.
Right.
And
I have to say, when I had some trouble learning to use the machines to buy train tickets or something, I don't know why, I would always say, could you help me? I don't have my glasses with me today. So I sort of fell into that.
Developed one of the coping skills.
Right. But tell us something about some of the folks that stand out in your mind.
Well, on the volunteer side, I can think of a wonderful woman who volunteers up in our Harlem site. And she literally rides her bicycle to the center. The old postman's credo, rain, sleet, hail, whatever. She comes there diligently. And just because she's so moved by the impact that the work has on those we're trying to help.
That's important to you. Volunteers must have a sense of responsibility and dedication.
It definitely comes with the package. I mean, the people who come to want to volunteer for us, first of all, as you were asking, you know, how are they vetted? Well, first of all, they have to go through a training, they have to go through an interview, they have to commit to a minimum of 6 months of working in our program. But we have volunteers who have been with us for more than 15 years. They're just so moved by the impact of their work that they tell us they learn more from our students than they ever could hope to impart.
And you know, getting education is part of the American dream, but giving back to society is the other side of the coin of the American dream.
And it's also part of the motivation for most of our students. You know, there's a lot of misconception that most of our students are employed. They're really just trying to improve their lives, and participate more fully as citizens, as parents. They love the library. We never lose a book or a pencil. The
It's
people,
amazing.
they come and really just take advantage, but in the most positive way, of wanting to share in this dream and really, because the library has so much to offer.
Is the economy hurting you?
Well, actually right now, city funding has been strong. I'm happy to say the mayor's office is very supportive of adult literacy, and we've been holding our own, and philanthropy has kicked in where
But
we
you
needed.
mentioned private philanthropy.
Absolutely.
So the folks who want to give to belong to the library, is there a place to mark off in their contribution or something for adult literacy? Is
yeah,
there a
absolutely,
checkoff point?
definitely.
I'm asking for myself, really, because
No.
I have constantly sustained supportive membership in the
Right.
public library, and there is a spot to mark it off.
Oh, absolutely. We have a planned giving office in the library, and Mr. Carnes, who works there, Ryan Carnes, actually is a fabulous man who walks people through that process and makes sure that their wishes are adhered to.
Yeah, well, we'll say, but we're close to the end. You said you brought some stuff, but also I love to end these kind of stories with a nice success story. You must have so many.
There are so many.
But tell us something that really sticks in your mind.
One of our volunteers has a family foundation, the NCV Foundation, Neela Vaswani, who you probably read about in Clyde
I read Clyde
Haberman's
Haberman's
article.
That's how we read about you, right.
And she's so moved that she sponsors an event at our library called Storylines, similar to the StoryCorps, but Storylines actually brings together an author. This year we have Naomi Shieb-Nye, who will be responding to our students' writings in October at the end of the month, and our students get published and really share with their families.
It's like an oral and written history?
Oh, absolutely.
How wonderful.
And it's similar to the stories that you saw in Clyde Haberman's article.
Right, yeah. What do you do? Go home every day with a smile?
I really do, absolutely.
I think what you do is wonderful.
I tell people, every day people come up and thank me for the work that I do, and I think to myself, no, thank you just for the opportunity.
And you're so lucky, Ken. You get
I
paid
really
for this
am.
too.
It's fabulous.
It's fabulous. Well, we love what you do, and anything we can do to help on a personal basis. But I'm hoping that we can have you on again, and you'll bring back some of your success stories with you, folks that came through your program.
Certainly will.
It would really be a nice bounty for us to see that.
That would be excellent.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're watching Ken English, Director of Literacy, Reading and Writing Centers at the New York Public Library. This is the epitome of getting your money's worth. Thanks for watching.